Okay, the question is... Oh, I think that I am streaming. Okay, that's cool. I don't need that. I don't need that. How do I share this? Okay. I want to get a shareable link. That just shows all my screens. That's great. Sorry, that's me. Okay. Primates, primate evolution, primate characteristics, major groups, primate evolution. The question is, will you get on that thing and tell me if you can, one, hear me, and two,
Yes.
If it just sounds okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Looks good. It's working.
Anything look weird?
No, you're doing good.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. We're gonna watch this, how the hell, is there like a blank, part of it that like the chat goes in, or no? Like when you open it up?
I think so.
So like it's just a blank box. No, I'm saying like when you open up my video of live, is that...
Yes.
Okay, how the hell do I add a freaking chat? Studio mode. What the hell? Okay. Well, I guess we're going to Google. In OBS, how do I add the comment box? Boom. Beautiful. Okay. What I need is... Hi, I can see. Okay. Community moderation, pop-out chat. No, this is not what I want. Does that change things? No. This is fucked up in April. Okay. Do I... Maybe this works? Let's see. What the hell? Okay. Cancel. I'm gonna remove this. Okay. That's all cool and everything, but maybe this will help me. No. Or will it just do a second thing on my video? No! This isn't what I want. Or will it just do a second thing on my video? Okay. We're so close. No! This isn't what I want. Okay, that's cool and all, but I'm so glad nobody's watching this while I'm like busy futzing with this. Like, whoa. Okay. And I'm supposed to be doing homework. Whatever. Okay. We're getting caught up. That's all that matters. The stream can look a little funky. In fact, I'm gonna put this here. No, that's evil. Okay. Yeah, we'll make it work. Okay. Let's send this stream to other people. Nope. Oh, I haven't pasted. Copied. Copy. My boyfriend's got his headphones on, so he doesn't even know that I'm like singing along to that Freddie Fazbear song. I'm looking at him. Gotta see how long it takes for him to notice. He might even have his earphones on so I can see what he's saying. My sister says she's too busy being lazy, but she loves me. I love her too. Okay, let's get into it. Since we're doing light work, I'll pull out my two pink things. And we're gonna get that done. Okay. Alright. So if you weren't here this morning, I did the second half of lecture 3, which was 38 minutes and took me forever. And now this one's 46 minutes and is also going to take me forever. But what we went through, this is the 1800s. There was this guy named Lamarck, and he wrote about the inheritance of the acquired characteristics. Then there was Lyell, who was more invested in the, like, geological processes, and, like, talked about uniformitarianism. I can't remember if he came up with that or if that's just, like, something that he really thought about. Then we go to Charles Darwin. Turns out he was a rich dude. No surprise there. He was a naturalist on the HMS Beagle, going around the Galapagos Islands. Knew about that and knew about the Finch Island. Didn't know he was a pigeon breeder. Yeah, but he did, like, selection of features. Blah, blah, blah. There was this guy named Alfred Russel Wallace who contacted Darwin in 1858 and was like, hey, these are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? And Darwin was like, God damn, I guess I do have to publish the book that I wrote. So then he publishes the book, and then they become pen pals for the rest of their lives, and I'm like, okay, so you're gay. Yeah. Can't believe my boyfriend's busy watching videos of somebody who isn't me. Like, he should be, like, live streaming my live stream. Whoa. Yeah, anyways. Okay, I'm gonna get started in 7 minutes, and we'll get officially started then. I texted my boyfriend being like, watch me stream while you work. So when he is typing instead of doing that. Okay. And then oh, he says the sound of overlapping would drive me crazy, but I can listen to you. You better.
I am.
Okay, cool. You just didn't hear me when I was busy, like, saying, like, singing along to the Freddie Fazbear song, and I was like, damn, he can't even hear me saying that.
Sorry, I was just locked in.
No, it's okay. You should turn my camera off, thank you. Me when I've got a loud fucking car. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, right, I was going to Instagram to post about me being on, live. Okay. This is crazy. And then I'm gonna want, oh wait. macOS audio capture. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. Okay, alright. We're streaming. I gotta get page right now. And I also took 6 notes on like 20 minutes first of things. And I'm like, I need to decide if that's worth it. Like if I need to be doing more or what? Oh, Elma's in class right now. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put the link in my Instagram story. Okay, someone's got a loud ass motorcycle or bike or something for no necessary reason. Right. Lecture 4A. It's 46 minutes. I have 2 minutes. How did 5 minutes already pass? What am I doing? Okay. No. There we go. We're back. And we're back. Okay. I feel like I'm being rained on. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I gotta get out of this. It's time. No, I've got a minute. The longer... Anyway, my professor at VCU is Amy Rector. She's currently... Oh, shoot, I should know where. She did her first presentation about it. She's somewhere in Africa, in West Africa. No. Can I do sides right? East Africa. I know maps. Crazy. Yeah. Anyways, she said she was gonna post pictures or videos, but then she didn't. And I'm like, why am I even in your class if you're not gonna post cool rock photos? But, that's whatever. So we're learning about primates, primate characteristics, major groups, primate evolution. My friend got, a kidney stone. I wonder why. And they're like, we're having hand-to-hand combat right now. That also sounds kind of gay. Maybe I'm just gay, but like, we're having hand-to-hand combat with a kidney stone? Crazy. Maybe go to the bathroom. Maybe piss. Alright, it's 1:40. Okay. And I have somebody coming over at 4 to record, so I gotta get this show on the road. Here's my notes. Does this even show up when I do this? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. I, like, forget. Oh, my boyfriend's adorable. Okay, I need to stop being gay on live stream. stream.
You cannot be gay on live stream.
You cannot be gay on live stream.
They'll kill you.
They'll kill you.
I wish I had that lasers for cats were actually good and didn't just make you sad, because I would just like put a laser on your forehead so it's like the red dot.
No.
Oh no.
That's evil. Every time I see like one of those things, I immediately think sniper, because like that's the shit, like when you're in DC at a protest or like even at Pride, which I mean yes is a protest, but also like obviously in the most recent years has been more commercial, but it like has watched my live stream.
I'm about to go into class.
That's fucked up and evil. Skip your class to watch my live stream.
I
Okay.
See if the creature is in.
Yeah.
It's like he can just close his door.
Primate characteristics. Wonder what we're talking about today. Could it be primate characteristics? What makes up a primate? I used to think it was like prime ape. And so I would just like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, it means ape, right? I guess we're gonna find out, because I actually don't know. And I feel like that's silly, but that's why I'm going into like not the biological anthropology. How do I know if someone's commented? This is evil. Okay, no one's commented. Because no, 5 views. Oh, evil. Okay. That's fine. Primate evolution. No. Okay, I'm already off to a bad start. I'm on my phone.
Get off your phone.
I know, I'm getting off my phone. And
I put mine on school mode.
Okay, well that doesn't do anything for me, because for some reason I like set school mode so that your text could still come through. And so then you'll text me a million things and then I'm like, fuck. And I know you're right in front of me, so you don't really have a reason to text me a million things, but I'm still, somehow my notifications still come through.
Crazy.
And so I just don't even trust that anymore.
Damn.
And then if I put it on Do Not Disturb, no notifications come through,
Sure.
but to my detriment, because then I forget to turn it back on. And that's where we get the problem of me not knowing what's going
This
on.
lecture, we're going to talk about.
Oh my god. Expert here.
I know, I'm an ideas guy.
That's crazy. Okay. It's in my drawer.
Ooh.
Hey!
True.
Yeah. Let's hit play.
Primates and some major primate characteristics and groups in primate evolution. And I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the number of slides. The vast majority of slides are just pictures of primates.
Oh,
They're
thank
going to be
God.
cute. Maybe I'll tell
Yeah.
a story.
Well, that's
You're
cool,
not
but
going
it's
to need
still
to know
26
anything
minutes
about
long.
individual primate species. Mostly just about what makes primates and how do we divide major groups so that we can recognize them.
Baja blasting.
So to start,
See, this is my problem. I'm 29 seconds in and I already have to write down something. But it's like, if I don't, then I might not have that information later. Like, people who do school and just school, do you, like, actually sit down and write everything in your notes? Or do you, like, what do people do? Because I'm too busy to be just doing school, but, like, I don't know.
Hello, ravioli.
Oh, says ravioli.
He does say
Study of living and extinct primates. including behavior and social life. I'm actually kind of interested in this because of The Sims 2 Castaway, which I loved playing as a kid. Because, like, in it, you, like, befriend monkeys to, like, find your real friends and, like, save the ship and go back home. But then you, like, have all these monkey friends that you're leaving behind. And it's like, well, what about those monkey friends? Are you going to visit those monkey friends? How do you get to the monkey friends? But, I don't know. Anyways. I should probably be, since this is pink, I should probably be using a different color. But I'm like, it's highlighted either way, but do I use a blue or a yellow? Chat, that's not here. What do I use? Carter? Blue, yellow, or pink on my pink?
I'd use blue.
Which color of blue? We've got more of a teal, and we have like a blue.
I'd do blue.
Okay. Well, the question is, okay, because I was watching on Red Note, or Zhao Hongshu, which to me, I think it's maybe just the way I pronounce it. It sounds like Zhao Hongshu, and then I'm like, fuck. I definitely am doing something wrong. But anyway, there was like a person who talked about Chinese like pens and highlighters and stuff, and we're showing like highlighters that could go over other highlighters and still look good and not like bleed over or dye the pen, and it looks so cool. And now I'm just like, can I do that too? And the answer is no. No, I cannot. Not well. I don't know. It looks like this. I can't even tell if that's in the frame, but what else? Primatology.
Primatology itself is the study of living and extinct primates, and this includes behavior and social life.
Cool.
So some primatologists, actually the majority of primatologists, do wander around watching living primates.
Which is real.
But some
If I could
primatologists
just
do
watch
study
monkeys,
fossils, and
that would
so
be
they
cool.
want to understand more about how primates perhaps have evolved over time or how they behaved in the
monkeys
past.
are real cool, but so are
One of the
alligators
major
and sharks.
reasons that primatology...
Just because how fucking old they are. Okay.
Meow.
Meow. She said that like a question.
I love when she does that. Just like, what are you questioning, girl?
She's like, do you love... See, and my phone is buzzing from inside the drawer. And so then, when is Ravioli's dinner time? See, and you know what? Her dinner time is like 6 p.m.
Okay.
6:30.
I didn't want to interrupt your thing.
No, you're okay, but now you have. And it's okay.
Okay.
I hope you guys saw cat butt. Ravioli. Favorite part of this stream is gonna be the cat. Okay. So it provides models for interpreting. Yeah. Okay, now you're opening things I don't want to open. She's got to rub up against this plastic bag and maybe bite some holes into it. You better stop biting holes into that plastic bag. She's licking it too. Ramona Ravioli Mastio. This is what I live with. I say that as if I haven't had this cat for like 3 days. Okay. Of humans and their ancestors. Carter.
What?
I think she's eating plastic. My plastic.
You're a stupid baby. Stupid.
She ate a little plastic. Would she be okay?
Yeah.
She just pooped that out, right?
Yeah. The issue with plastic is if it like cuts up their insides.
Okay.
Or if they eat a lot of it.
Ugh.
Just like people, you can have a little plastic.
Yeah. Okay.
She's styling your hair. She's helping. She's a stylist.
Yeah. Catwalk, blessed day. That's so true. Thank you. Where am I? Right. Primatology. And I was for of humans and their ancestors. Okay.
Anthropology started as a field is that studying living primates provides some model.
Nope, she just ate something else that she's not supposed to eat.
Hey. I'm
It's an old dandelion.
little button maybe their dandelion.
Can you give me a second where you don't eat all of the things? Because it's always like, she's like, let me do evil things when you're around. As if, like, she couldn't have done that, like, while we were asleep.
Because when we're asleep, she wants to sleep on bed with us.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or sleep in my chair.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. She's taking over your desk now. She's Theo Mastio.
She's Theo Mastio. No.
If
Okay.
she doesn't mean... Oh, okay.
For interpreting how our ancestors might have behaved and why we behave the way we do today. So terrestrial primates, or primates who live on the ground, have been very...
Now that's cool. Because, okay, so when I went to the National Zoo, they have this thing called, or they have these, like, or was it the Des Moines Zoo? One of the zoos I visited, they have, like, really tall, like, towers for orangutans to just, like, I don't know, zip over. Like, it's literally a zip line for orangutans. And that's so fucking cool.
That was the National Zoo.
That was the National Zoo? Okay.
This is not where Kitty looks for trinkets. Kitty looks for trinkets.
Kitty looks for
We
trinkets.
just have to baby-proof the house.
Yeah. I literally what is so interesting to that stuff.
Cats are like really agile little babies.
Do you want
She doesn't know anything. She's stepping on your notes with her tiny, tiny paws compared to her bottom. See, that would be a good place for you to lie down and chill, but no.
She's like, you aren't paying attention to.
Bad kitties are safe kitties.
Okay, let's see. Let's just. Okay, the green screen is coming apart. No, I gotta be up front. There we go. Okay. She comes to me and excuse me. Mew.
I saw like a remote control kitty cat toy on Instagram Reels, and I'm like, that'd be good for the creature. She seems like she's like understimulated. But then
Yeah.
you try to play with her and she's like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think she's used to being played with.
Yeah, she's just used to having too much energy.
It's like real and
I think we were
true,
a little
but
bit earlier, though.
yeah. Ooh, my computer is warm as all hell.
very important to this. So basically, how do primates act and behave and eat and group themselves when they're on the ground?
Nope.
For this lecture, we're going to talk about very important to this. So basically, how do primates act and behave and eat and group themselves when they're on the ground? Because we are terrestrial primates. And also the study of apes, since we are apes as well. So these are the main primates that primatologists really started with, and then they branched out to think about, basically all primates. Why are there shared behaviors amongst multiple groups of primates, and what is our shared evolutionary history? So primatologists
Primatologist. A scientist. Carter, will you close that window? It's just so freaking loud.
Yeah.
Remind me next time that I could live stream to have the office to myself.
Okay.
Okay. But that doesn't mean now.
Okay.
Okay. In natural. And or laboratory. Yeah. What's up with women and monkeys? That's what I gotta ask. Okay, and then with my blue highlighter, we're gonna. Wow. We're getting transgender notes. Trump would be shaking in his boots, especially when I start studying education and my trans colors and my trans body. Ugh, evil. Anyway, okay.
Themselves are.
Do you know what that noise is?
Yeah, just street noises.
No.
Yeah.
The like,
Yeah, street noises. I hear them.
That sounds like it's coming from inside the house.
It's not.
Okay. Is the cat okay?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's the washer. Sorry. I wasn't paying entire attention. I'm sorry.
Evil.
Are scientists who study primates in natural and or lab.
Ravioli, it's okay. She goes to other rooms and meows that we're not there.
Yeah, cats are like that. Chimpanzees. Dian Fossey. Gorillas. Was it a gorilla or was it a chimpanzee that they taught Minecraft?
Gorilla.
Okay. No, that's not how you spell her name. Beirut Ohana. You're gonna make everything fall down, girl. Ugh. No, that's not for kitties. Not for kitties. Orangutans. You just scared the hell out of her.
I'm sorry.
Hi, baby. She's like, what if I lay my tail directly on your stuff and sit where I can eat the things that I'm not supposed to be eating? She's not actively. Otherwise, I would be doing something about it. Don't worry.
Sure.
She's hitting buttons with her tail. Oh. Okay.
Lab settings to understand primate evolution and behavior. So these three women shown here are basically the three people who started the field of field primatology in a real way. So there were other folks who studied primates in labs, and there are folks who study primates in labs today, also in zoos. But Jane Goodall, Diane Fossey, and Galdikas were, I think I said her name wrong, I apologize, were the first field primatologists to go out and spend long periods of time watching wild primates. Now, it is not a coincidence that they studied apes, so chimps, gorillas, and orangutans, because the idea was then and is now that apes are our closest living relatives, so we need to study apes to understand more about ourselves.
Okay, those are all
For gorillas and chimpanzees, there was definitely this perception that they were super dangerous, and so female primatologists were the ones who would be, I guess, safest because they wouldn't threaten the male gorillas. And what they in fact found was that, sure, gorillas and chimpanzees can get all bent out of shape and they fight with each other, but they are not just violent for violence sake. So none of these three women had any trouble with the primates that they studied. Diane Fossey, though, was famously killed by people who lived in the area because she did not interact with them well.
That's not surprising.
So those three women studied apes, but of course primates are varied. There's lots of apes, there's lots of monkeys, there's lots of lemurs, lots of lorises, and we're going to go through them briefly so that you understand kind of the differences between the major groups, and I'll tell you some stories along the way.
Here's some cool looking guys.
First, I want to remind you of Linnaeus. Linnaeus was the person we talked about when we talked about evolutionary thought, who grouped organisms together so that they could be easily spoken about, easily talked about. And he grouped them together based on shared characteristics, based on what they looked like. And from that grouping, we now have a hierarchical classification scheme that we use to talk about groups of animals. So you guys will have learned this in much greater detail, probably in 4th grade, but we're going to just use a couple levels of this hierarchical classification scheme.
Okay. Carter, will you close the door? Thank you. I just can't deal with that beeping.
It's all good.
Starting with kingdoms, which are the biggest groups of organisms. So there is a kingdom named Animalia. Within kingdoms, there are smaller groups of organisms called classes. And so here we're talking about class Mammalia. And within classes, there are smaller groups called orders. And here we're talking about order Primates. Order Primates, specifically, is the one that we're going to go into detail about. And I got ahead of myself and I put genus Homo here because the genus, plural is genera, is within the order Primates. Now, something I wanted to go back and mention is that each one of these groups is grouped together because of shared characteristics. So kingdom is the biggest group. Within kingdom are classes. Within a class are orders. Within an order are multiple genera or a genus. But then within genus, there can be multiple species. So what we come back to that Linnaeus gave us is called a binomial nomenclature. So this is a two-name naming system. So that we use the two name of the genus and species together.
Binomial nomenclature. I wish my pen would work.
Together. So this particular species that we're talking about is Homo sapiens, genus and species. Homo sapiens is humans. So you can see that humans are nested within primates, and I'll tell you why. But primates are within mammalia because they're mammals. They have hair, they have milk, they have live birth. Mammals are within this kingdom Animalia because they share other characteristics with other members of this kingdom. And today, we're specifically talking about this order Primates. So basically, what is shared by all primates, including us? When we talk about living primates, it's useful to look at a map of the world and see where the equator falls, and also the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, which are the latitudinal barriers, or not barriers, but borders of what we call the tropics. And in the tropics are where we find most of our rainforests. And so the vast majority of living primates are distributed within the tropics, and they are distributed within forested habitats. However, forests and rainforests are not the only place that you will find primates. Primates actually live in grasslands, in shrublands, in pretty open habitats, in high mountains, in areas where it snows. Primates live in all kinds of areas and have adapted to all kinds of different habitats. Another way that primates are varied is in body size. So here's the smallest primate on the left there, a mouse lemur at about 3.5 ounces. And the largest primate today is a male gorilla.
Right. Smallest. We have mouse lemur. Biggest male gorilla.
Weighing in at about 400 pounds. That's like almost 2,000 times the size of that mouse lemur. And really, what's cool about primates is that there is basically every body size in between this teeny tiny and this big giant. Primates also move in a variety of different ways, so we call it locomotion. They can move on all fours, they can be knuckle walkers like this gorilla, which means they curl their knuckles under and lean on them instead of the palms of their hands. They can be suspensory, they can be clingers and leapers, so they move in a variety of ways, but we humans are the only ones who are habitually on two legs, and we will come back to that. We often think of primates as just eating bananas, but they eat all kinds of different things. Some have diets that are primarily leaves, some have diets that are primarily fruits, some have diets that are primarily bugs. Some of these are licking sap from the inside of a tree, some of them are eating bamboo. So there's all different kinds of diets, and body size really depends a lot on the diet. The bigger the primate, the more likely they are eating leaves. The smaller the primate, the more likely they have to eat something that's packed with energy and calories and proteins like bugs or saps from trees. Primates also organize themselves in a lot of different ways. There's baboons that run around in troops of up to hundreds. Orangutans are what we consider to be solitary. They kind of just hang out by themselves. They don't really want to be around anybody else. And then chimpanzees will be, in some cases, in smaller foraging groups, and in other cases, they'll come together in a big group to defend a territory, for instance. And then there are a couple who do what's called pair bonding, and these little TT monkeys in the lower left, they have little tails curled around each other because just the two of them like to hang. Then up in the right are gorillas, where there is one male gorilla and all of his females in a group called a harem, or if you listen to David Attenborough, a harem. The thing that all primates have in common, though, for social organization is a pretty high amount of parental investment. Mothers dedicate a significant amount of time to raising offspring. Offspring stay with their moms until they're basically old enough to be adults themselves and be parents themselves. Males, though, except for one group, males do not really invest any time in their offspring. So what are the features that are shared by all primates? The first one, and the easiest one to see, is grasping extremities. So except for humans, all primates have both grasping hands and grasping feet. And the way we do this with our hands specifically is having an opposable thumb. So all primates have an opposable thumb. All primates are the only mammals to have opposable thumbs. There are no other mammals that can use their thumb to hold on to an apple like you see in this picture. Having an opposable thumb literally means, and hold up your hand right now, Take your thumb and your first finger and touch them to each other. Take your thumb and your second finger, and then your fourth finger, and then your last finger, or whichever number of finger we're on, but you can touch the tip of your thumb to the tips of your other fingers, and that's what having an opposable thumb means. That's why we can grasp onto things. That is a unique primate trait. Another trait that's shared by all primates, this is not unique to primates, but it's shared by primates, is having enhanced vision. And the way that we know this for primates is that our orbits, the orbits of our eyes, are close to each other on the fronts of our heads. That way, the field of vision for your left eye and the field of vision for your right eye overlap, so we can see in 3 dimensions. Animals that are predators tend to have overlapping fields of vision, so you'll see eyes on the front for predators, and primates all have enhanced vision because we, as primates, were evolved to be visual predators. So hunting for bugs using our eyes. Not humans. It's not a human thing. That was an ancestral thing. Along with our enhanced vision is having reduced olfaction, which means reduced reliance on a sense of smell. So if you look at this cross-section of the skull in the middle, that's a gorilla skull, and you can see into its nasal cavity down here. This is its nasal cavity down here. And then if you look at this dog over here and look straight down into its nasal cavity, it has all kinds of curly cube bones that provide more surface area for sensory and nerve endings for smelling. So dogs can smell like a gajillion things at once, and we primates just really can't. So we rely more on our eyes than our sense of smell, and those two things basically have changed the shape of our skull. That our noses are smaller, our nasal cavities are smaller, and our eyes are bigger and closer together. Something that is special to primates is having greater brain development. So these are not to scale, but you can see three brains over on the left in the green area, and 4 brains over on the right in the pink area. And my very unscientific way of describing this is that you can see the ones on the right are wrinklier. So chimp brains and human brains are wrinklier, and that provides more surface area for more thinking. That's my unscientific way of describing it. So not only are the brains more complex in that way, they're also bigger compared to their body sizes. So all primates have bigger brains compared to their body sizes than any other mammals. So primates have grasping hands, forward-facing eyes, reduced olfaction, and big brains compared to their body sizes. These are all things that humans share too. So we're going to use only those characteristics. There are more. So there are more reasons that we know that humans are primates, but we're just going to go through the distribution of living primates, talk about groups of primates so that you can see who we're most closely related to. So I'm going to go through various groups. I'm going to give you some geographic information and then a little bit of information about each group. But in general, you're not going to need to really know anything about individual primates, but I will tell some fun stories. So let's start with lemurs, who live on Madagascar, and many of you will already be aware of lemurs. Lemurs only live on Madagascar, so they all live on Madagascar, and except for humans, they're the only primates on Madagascar. Madagascar is that big giant island off the coast of Africa, and lemurs basically got there, I think like 90 million years ago, and then just kind of hung out. Their body size range is pretty wide. So 30 grams is pretty teeny tiny, and 7 kilos, my very unscientific way of turning kilos into pounds is to double it and add a couple, so somewhere in the 16-pound range. It's very frustrating that science is done in metric and we Americans just can't get on board. And lemurs eat all kinds of things. So fruits, flowers, insects, gums, and leaves. Gums is a fancy word for saps, so basically exudates from the insides of trees, and you can think of maple syrup as a gum. So it's got a lot of calories, it's got a lot of punch for a tiny little package. In terms of lemur groups, there are 5 major groups, which is a lot of groups, and there are 14 genera of lemurs. So if you remember the hierarchical classification scheme, this is down near the bottom, a genus, there are 14 different genuses or genera in these 5 major groups. That's a lot of diversity. That's basically what I want you to take home from this. A lot of diversity in lemurs. Even though they're all closely related really, and they only live on Madagascar, they've been there so long, they've been evolving and adapting to various habitats, there's lots of diversity there. So I'm going to go through each one of these with just a little bit of information so that you can kind of get a sense of that diversity. everyone's favorite, and you know about it, are ring-tailed lemurs. Here they are here. If you look at that skull, one thing you might notice is they have pretty good sized eyes, they have pretty good sized teeth. In terms of primates, their brains are not super huge. So they're bigger than other mammals compared to body size, but not really for primates.
There's a lemur.
Ring-tailed lemurs are pretty cool. They live in groups. They wander around with females usually as the dominant animals. And one thing they can do with that cool stripy tail is have these stink bomb fights. So if you look here, right here on her wrist and right here, those are scent glands. And what ring-tailed lemurs will do is they'll take their tail, they'll rub it between those scent glands on their wrists, and then they'll kind of take their tail and sort of throw it over their shoulder and throw scents at another individual. They fight with these stink bombs. And apparently it is quite smelly. Black lemurs are another beautiful kind of lemur. Something cool about them is that they are called sexually dichromatic. So di means two, chromatic means basically color. So being sexually dichromatic means that males and females are two different colors. So the male here on the right is black, and the female is this really cool kind of burnt orange color. And they all have these burnt orange eyes. But you can see grasping hands and feet on that little lemur. Black and white ruffed lemurs. They have these at the Richmond Metro Zoo. So if anybody's interested in taking a bit of an expensive field trip, they have lots of primates at the Richmond Metro Zoo. And they have these black and white ruffed ones. They will occasionally have twins, so you can see the little babies down there. And they have a very loud call. Now, it's an alarm call, it's a hello, how are you call, but it is just loud and screaming, and when one hears it, the rest have to do it, so it's very noisy to be around, these ruffed lemurs. Gray bamboo lemurs are in a different group, and they're pretty special because they have adaptations for digesting bamboo. So bamboo is not something you can digest as a human without cooking it because you need special enzymes in your guts or it will make you sick. And bamboo lemurs have these enzymes. So they have this special food resource that only they can take advantage of. This is yet another group of lemurs, the white-footed sportive lemur. They're very sporty. And you can see from these pictures, they have big eyes, they have pretty big ears because they are nocturnal. So some primates and some lemurs are awake during the day, the word for that's diurnal, and some are awake at night, the word for that's nocturnal. So these little guys are awake at night, they're bouncers, they like to hop from tree to tree as they hunt bugs.
That's crazy.
An indri is quite a bit bigger, so these are like medium dog size, I would say, maybe small dog size. And they have long, froggy legs because they are hoppers. So they hop around on those back legs, they hop on the ground, they hop into trees, doing something called vertical cleaning and leaping. So you can see these long legs over here, long froggy legs, and these big old feet that they use to grasp onto tree limbs and tree trunks. Some of you might recognize a Burroughs shafak. They are related to that last primate fairly close. And this particular shafak is famous because there was a TV show called Zaboomafoo. So if you know Zaboomafoo, you've seen Burroughs shafaks before, and you know that they do bounce around on their hind legs on the ground, but they're also quadrupedal. So they walk around on all fours, they bounce around on all fours, but their legs are so long that when they're on the ground, they bounce instead of using all four hands on the ground.
That's crazy.
They're called shafaks because they make a fun knit sound when they bounce. They say shafak, shafak, shafak. And I will see if I can find a link to a Zaboomafoo video for you guys to watch. Fat-tailed dwarf lemurs look exactly like their name. They are nocturnal.
They're so cute.
They are solitary, so they spend most of the time by themselves. They have those big eyes to be able to see better at night. And their tails get fat. So kind of like some geckos and some other creatures, they have an adaptation that when they have enough resources, they kind of build up fat in their tails, and that way they have some extra padding for when resources fail. Unfortunately, this means that those tails are delicious, and so people hunt them and eat them, and they are at risk because of that. And my favorite is an eye-eye. Eye-eyes are amazing. For a long time, people didn't know what they were. Are they primates? Are they rodents? One reason they thought they were rodents is because they have ever-growing incisors, which means their upper teeth grow continuously, so they have to gnaw in order for those teeth to be worn down and not be dangerous to them. And they also have these wild, long middle fingers that they use to tap onto trees, listen for bugs, and then dig those bugs out and eat them. I'm going to link to a funny video about eye-eyes for you in Canvas that you should definitely stop right now and watch.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do that, actually.
Our next group of primates I'm going to talk about are the lorises. So one of the big differences here is that lorises are distributed across Africa and Asia, so they have a huge geographic range, whereas lemurs were just on that one island of Madagascar. And again, they live in Africa and Asia. The ones in Africa are called galagans, the ones in Asia are called lorisids, just to be a little confusing. And their body size range is tiny, from about 60 grams to about 1.5 kilos, and maybe 4 pounds soaking wet. They eat fruits, gums, and insects. And there are 9 genera and only 2 major groups. So lemurs, super diverse, small geographic area. Lorises, huge geographic area, barely any diversity at all. Gotta love the galagos though. This is a lesser bush baby, and what you can see from that skull, they are huge eyes. So these are nocturnal. Most, maybe all, lorises are nocturnal. So huge eyes, bigger than their brains, these eyes are. And then you can see the huge ears too. So they use those ears and those eyes to hunt for those bugs at night, and then some of them also eat gums and saps from trees.
That's crazy.
Pottos are also found in Africa. These guys are a little bit weird. They're not bouncers like bush babies are. These are slower movers. So they are quadrupedal. They use all 4 hands and feet to walk along the tops of branches in a very steady way. They They have a cool adaptation on their finger here, where their first finger is basically super short, almost not there. You can see it up here too, because somehow that lets them spread their grips even wider so they can hold on to really kind of large branches compared to their body sizes. A closely related creature, the common slow loris, you may have seen in some videos. This guy also moves slow. He's also got that cute little non-finger here. They're called little fire faces, where they come from in Southeast Asia because of these little flames and these little eyes that look so cute. And the real problem with them is that they are part of the illegal pet trade. So there is a video that goes around, one of them with his little arms in the air, and it looks like he's being tickled. But in fact, putting his arms in the air is a defensive mechanism, and they are very unhappy in those videos. So this is just a reminder that no puppies make good pets, and no wild animals make
she's
pets.
just talking about
Like
monkeys.
that.
And as much as I
But
love to have
like some of
monkey
the other
facts,
closely related species, the slow loris
they're
has
not
big,
going to be
huge eyes
something
to
for
be
us
awake tonight. For our purposes, talking about wild apes. They are distributed across Africa and Asia. Africa and Asia, again, is where...
Hold on, we might go up back. No, we're good. Let's get there.
Group of primates called the apes. Now, humans are apes, and I will tell you more about humans being apes, and humans are distributed everywhere. But for our purposes, talking about wild apes, they are distributed across Africa and Asia. Africa and Asia, again, is where living apes are distributed. They have a body.
Okay. Live in Africa and Asia. Okay.
Body size range that's wide. We talked about the largest gorilla being 400 pounds, but the small ones, this little hylobates here on the left, it's only about 6 kilos, which is pretty small. They eat fruits, leaves, insects, meat, seeds, anything.
Okay.
And today, there are only 5 genera left.
Cool. Pongo. Gorilla. Pan. And Homo. Okay, so Hylobates sapien, Pongo sapien, Gorilla sapien, Pan sapien, Homo sapien. Yes? Or is that not how that works? Because, wait. Let me go back to our previous note. Okay, so it's not, because the species is under the genus. So it's under the order Primates. The genus is Primates include Hylobates, Pongo, Gorilla, Pan, Homo.
So considering that they're distributed all across Africa and Asia, they're really kind of not, because the only genera left are Hylobates here, which is gibbons and siamang, Pongo, the orangutan, gorilla. Sorry, here's the gorilla here. And then our closest living relative, Pan, chimpanzee, and then Homo. So these are lined up in order of relationship, that Hylobates is our furthest cousin, Pongo is our next closest, gorilla is our next closest, and then the chimpanzee is our closest living relative. Apes have several things in common that make them different from the other primate groups, but one of them that's most obvious is having no tails. So none of those species, including humans, have tails, whereas every other species of primate does have a tail. Our furthest cousin, who's an ape, are gibbons and siamang. So this is an example of a gibbon. You can see their long arms that are good for swinging, and that one that's walking there on the right has short little legs and no tail. Orangutans here, this is a female with a baby. I mentioned earlier that orangutans are basically solitary. They spend most of their time by themselves, and the exceptions are when moms have offspring, which is basically all the time. They will have an infant who will grow up and be 7 or 8 before they leave, and then mom will have another baby. And males will be found with females when it's time to be found with females. This is a male orangutan. You can see that it has this big fat pad, almost like a plate around its face, and that actually, they use that kind of like a megaphone, so they have these long calls. They sit in the forest, and they yell to females and say, "Oh, hey lady, come see me, I'm here." And that fat pad helps that call reverberate around the forest. So other than that time, when females are receptive, males are basically by themselves, just eating, hanging out, and females are by themselves unless they're with their offspring. Our next closest relative is gorillas. There are 2 species of gorillas, and might be more depending on what categories you want to use. Western lowland gorillas are the ones that, of course, live in the lower habitats. There's a male here on the left, a big silverback. In both species, when males become sexually mature, their backs do turn silver, so this is another way of using color as a signal to both males and females around them that they are mature. But that big gorilla on the left has grown up from this little bitty baby on the right. It's pretty amazing how much gorillas grow during their lives. Another species is mountain gorillas, and they live at higher elevations where it's a little bit cooler, a little bit rainier, so you can see that they're quite a bit fuzzier. It's mountain gorillas that Diane Fossey worked with in Rwanda. And all gorillas eat leaves. They are folivores, and they live in what are called harems, which is one male and multiple girlfriends, and that male will defend those females from other males. So one reason male gorillas are so big is that they do actually fight with each other for access to females. And then our closest living relative is a common chimpanzee, Pan-Troglodytes, the genus Pan. The species lives in Central Africa, and they live in what are called fission fusion groups, so they will come together if there's a big enough food resource for a lot of individuals to be at, but most of the time they actually fission off into smaller groups that are foraging parties. So the females and their offspring will go forage, and males will stick together and patrol a territory. So males can be pretty mean, and they will beat each other up if they're found in another territory that doesn't belong to them. They have a cousin, the bonobos, Pan paniscus, and they are only separated, the geographic range of chimpanzees and bonobos are only separated by a river. So you can see the evolutionary history in the past that they were once one species or one population, that river separated them, and then each population started adapting to slightly different environmental contexts. Over time, what this has meant is that whereas chimpanzees will patrol and beat each other up if they're in the wrong territory, bonobos will solve problems with sex. So they don't solve problems or conflicts with violence or fighting with each other. They have sex instead, which means that there is sex happening all the time between males and females and males and females. And it's a really interesting contrast between the behaviors of chimps and the behaviors of bonobos, because people have assumed that humans should act like chimps, mean and aggressive, when maybe bonobos are a better way of thinking about what our ancestors might have acted like.
So true.
We'll talk more next time about why humans are apes and what other characteristics we share with apes besides having no tail, as we talk about the evolutionary history of our species. But as a reminder, some of the characteristics that are shared by all primates, including us, are having grasping extremities, enhanced vision, reduced olfaction, and a larger brain. Then each group of primates has other characteristics that group them together, and for humans, we group with apes based on shared characteristics. What we will see, though, is that we have evolved by walking on 2 feet in a totally different direction from our cousins. For this lecture, we're going to talk briefly.
No, we're actually going to go to
This lecture is
the 12-minute lecture. Oh. No. No, that's not it either. Okay. I'm actually gonna stop this live stream because I have to take care of a few things, but thank you for tuning in, and I can't do that, can I? No. Okay. That's what I thought. Anyways, does that work? No. Okay. Now that I'm done testing out some things, I know a little bit more about this OBS thing, and I'm going to work on that and get some more studying done later by myself, but I just finished those notes, and that was 42 pages for that 46 minutes, and I thought it was going to be a lot longer and scarier, but most of it was just about apes, that she was just like, here's some ape facts for 46 minutes, which is so chill, but like, come on, you're scaring me. Okay, anyways, bye.